Okay, just wanted to preface this video by saying I'm definitely not done with my entire manuscript. I do have a good bit at the beginning, but it's very, very rough. Okay. What are the costs to commit a crime in Washington State? I'm not talking about violent, serious crimes like murder, rape, or robbery. I'm talking about misdemeanors like petty theft, minor drug offenses like possession, maybe even vandalism or trespassing. Do you know the cost? What about driving without a license? What does that cost? Kiana Williams was 19 when she got a ticket for driving without her license. That ticket was $200. And $200 was far more than she was able to pay at the time, so she went to court. The courts told her to pay $20 each month and to meet them quarterly until the debt was paid in full. But these court meetings, they aren't free. The courts imposed a $15 booking fee, a $35 service fee, and there were a couple other legal financial obligations. Due to financial hardships, she couldn't even meet the $20 consistently, and due to scheduling conflicts at her job, she missed a court date. And because of that, they fined her. After so long, she wasn't able to pay enough of her debt to the courts, so they put up a warrant for her arrest. And when you have debt to the courts and they pile up, they require you to go to jail after a certain amount of time and serve for the time as a way of restitution to pay off for your debt. And this affects everything. You can lose your job because people don't want to hire someone that has a warrant out for their arrest and has been to jail. Because when you go to jail, they don't say what it's for, even if it's for a driving ticket. You just go to jail. You can't own or rent your own home because who wants to trust a jobless person with a record? So I ask you all, what really is the cost of crime? Back in the day, debtors' prisons were meant for those that maybe overindulged a little too much on their credit, but today it is a means to punish people beyond their initial crime. Our modern-day debtors' prisons threatens the democracy that we have fought so hard to maintain. These debtors' prisons directly violate our 8th Amendment rights, which states, "Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted." This amendment prohibits the federal government from imposing unduly harsh penalties on criminal defendants. For those that are in low-income socioeconomic statuses or unable to pay the fees and fines already on top of their initial offense, it becomes clearly excessive, cruel, and unusual as a punishment. So we must demand better from our criminal justice system because not addressing these modern-day debtors' prisons benefits no one and brings justice to no one. First of all, they are serving sentences that are punishing them far past their initial offense. Think of Kiana. All she ever did was drive without a license once, and for that, her entire life was changed. And second of all, it is a complete waste of time, money, and resources for everyone. There's an argument that it is better for the courts to impose these fees and fines to save the taxpayers' money. But in reality, if you think of it, the taxpayers are the ones that are maintaining to keep these people in prison. In our system, if you are found guilty of a crime, there's more to it. Like Kiana, that $200 driving violation becomes $1,000 when you are unable to pay it and are at the mercy of the courts. And there are countless amounts of legal financial obligations. But what are legal financial obligations, and why are the courts imposing them? Legal financial obligations are the small fees, fines, and areas in which the court is able to impose a tax or a fee on a person throughout the court process. For example, like Kiana, there was a court booking fee to even get her court date. There's service fees to generally service the court trial. There are fees that you have to pay to even have a lawyer with you in some cases. And these legal financial obligations are what fund courts themselves. So there are monetary incentives of the courts to impose these. But why does it matter? Why do we need to pay attention to these? It is because these disproportionately affected those that are in low-income communities and minorities. You never hear that this is a problem among those that are able to pay off their ticket initially because they don't even need, all the steps that follow don't even exist. So what can we do about that? Currently here in Washington State, the Washington State Budget and Policy Center actively work for economic equality and justice. Part of their legislative agenda is to make initiatives in Washington to reform these legal financial obligations and remove court incentive. If they're able to impose legal financial obligations based on the ability to pay, this would be a more equitable choice of legal financial obligations, or removing them altogether. Instead of having legal financial obligations be what funds courts, allocate more money from the government itself so that there's no incentive at all. And so, Washington State Budget and Policy Center puts in a lot of work to fight for the economic equality and justice for others. But what can we do? There are a couple things. You can donate to the Washington State Policy Center and help forward their agendas, but you can also get involved with them. They are well kept and up to date on their events that they plan and host, which you can find at the Washington State Budget and Policy Center.org. And there you're able to read all about their agendas and how you can help support them, whether it be from an online Zoom meeting to any events that they may be planning and hosting. But yes, thank you. That is why.